do the right thing, and open up the city. You're tired of quarantine. You're tired of feeling shitty. Do the right thing, open up the city. Thank you. God bless you guys.
Anybody here love America? All right, well, that makes all of us. My name is Joe Caldarera, Sr. I'm not the guy running for Congress. It's very close to me. We're going to have to take a few more minutes because we're waiting for some press to show up. And it's great to have a rally. It's great for us, but unless the press shows up, you don't have anything. So give them a few more minutes. Be a little patient. Please don't stay in the street on the sidewalk. Come into the parking lot. Let's not give the cops a hard time. They're here to protect us. We appreciate them. Let's hear it for our police out here. Okay, so once we get the program started, we're going to start with the pledge of allegiance. Remove your hats. Where's my flag? There he is. Remove your hats. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to our MC. This is Mr. Anthony Fazia.
How's everybody doing today? So as Big Joe just announced, my name is Anthony Fazia. I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. Before we get started, I just want to hand out a few thank yous. I want to thank Joseph Emanuele. I want to thank his aunt, Anna Giordano, for providing us with the venue for today's event. So thank you guys very much. I want to thank two very special people, Phil DeMeo, and I want to thank Joe Caldarera. These two gentlemen have been very instrumental in organizing the event today. So we thank you guys very much. Admittedly, guys, I am not a Staten Island small business owner. I am merely a patron, a customer, and even a regular at times to some of the small businesses that are here. And a patriot. As we look out right now, we see a lot of hurting people. We see business owners, we see employees. And we want to let you guys know that when the businesses on Staten Island hurt, we all hurt. The business owners, the employees to those business owners, you guys are the very fiber and backbone to our community. So we thank you all very much for being here. Today is very important. We're all gathered here today because, quite frankly, we're all frustrated, and your frustrations deserve to be felt, and your voices deserve to be heard. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the podium a gentleman who is a former prosecutor for the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. He's running for Congress in New York's 11th Congressional District. He is a Staten Island native. He is a Southeast Annadale native. He is Joseph Caldarera. Joe?
How's everybody doing tonight? Do we have any Staten Islanders in the house tonight? Do we have any proud Staten Islanders in the house tonight? Do we have any proud New Yorkers in the house tonight? Do we have any proud Americans in the house tonight? USA! USA! USA!
USA! USA! USA!
Thank you to everyone who's been instrumental in putting tonight together. As I look out into the crowd, I see Marco Kepi here, candidate for State Assembly. Everybody give a round of applause for Marco. Before I begin, I'd like to ask everyone to just take a brief moment of silence for us to remember all those who have lost their lives due to this horrible, grave illness over these past few months. Our community's been hit so hard, and I ask that we remember them for just a brief moment. Do we have any first responders here tonight? A round of applause for our first responders and for all those who have been on the front lines fighting for us, our doctors, our nurses, our firefighters, our police officers. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So we're here tonight in support of small business. Small business is the backbone of our community here on Staten Island. And you know, it's frustrating and disenchanting to so many people that I've been speaking to these past few weeks. They say, I'm able to go to Home Depot, I'm able to go to Lowe's, I'm able to go to a big department store, but yet my florist is closed. My restaurant is closed. Well, I want to let you know that I hear you, and lots of people in charge hear you. So now it's important that we put the pressure on our local governments, our city and our state government, to let them know that Staten Island is ready to open up. I was warned not to come here tonight. You know, some political consultants and other people in politics on Staten Island, they said, don't come here. They said, it's too dangerous. Write an op-ed or host a virtual town hall. They'll get the point across.
We're up!
All right, that's what they told me to do. But businesses are shuttered. Restaurants are closed, and small business on Staten Island is dying. I have to be here. I have to stand here with you and by the side of small business because our government has not been here for us.
As usual.
Mayor and Governor!
Where's Nicole?
Yeah, where is she?
No,
Nicole. No, Nicole. She doesn't come out. She doesn't vote right. She's a rhino. Do you know what a rhino is? A Republican in name only.
But this isn't about Nicole. This is about us, and this is about small business. So our politicians, they serve by our consent, and what we've seen recently is that they think that we have to run our businesses by their consent. That's not how it works. And any suggestion that that's how it works is antithetical to everything that we stand for in the United States of America. As I read in the New York Post today, there was a good quote. The sweat equity of countless business owners is evaporating. Okay, we've been able to sustain this for the past few weeks, but now businesses aren't going to be able to come back from this unless we open soon. Now, Staten Island has, that's right, now. Staten Island has always been a big community, but until our restaurants reopen and our businesses reopen, there's no community here anymore. So we have to come together to achieve this seemingly insurmountable task. And are we asking too much that the government allow us to reopen our businesses? Are we asking too much for some sort of a reasonable timeline of when we're actually going to be reopened, or some reasonable idea of when restaurants are going to be able to seat their customers at full capacity? I don't think that's asking too much.
All right, you went too far. Make a U-turn, go back up Arden Avenue, make a right on Annadale Road.
Closer.
Put in Ocean Sushi.
When did it become up to the government to tell us when we can go back to work? That's right. The government doesn't tell us when we can work. That's right. That's for sure. That's right. They're public servants, but they forget that.
So what do we
Come back
do?
up and
Well, I'll tell you what we won't do. We're not going to go down this way, okay? We're going to fight back. We choose to fight back as Americans. We choose to stand up and not fall. And we choose to now get together as a community, as Staten Islanders, and come together and discuss with small business owners and with all people involved in business on Staten Island, what's the next plan? We have to come up with our own plan because our government officials aren't going to do it for us. That's clear. There's a lack of leadership throughout this city and throughout this country right now. So we have to govern ourselves. So tonight, there'll be a program, you'll hear from some other speakers, and we're going to discuss what we need to do to get business moving again. All right? Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate it. And let's reopen Staten Island.
That I missed giving a thank you to today. He's probably one of the most instrumental people for organizing this rally. He is the owner of Margarella Asphalt and Concrete. He is none other than Steve Margarella. Steve?
Finn, come here.
You have nice hands.
Meet Marco Kepi. He's running for assembly.
Hi, Marco. Jim, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hi, Steve.
Thank you all for being here. And again, thank you to our first responders and our police for helping us out tonight. Please observe social distancing. And let's make it easy for everybody. So we'll spread out a little bit because we don't want to have any complications. Let's make their lives easy. It's a privilege to be here tonight. And I want to thank Joe for inviting me in. This is a guy thing, but when this came up, he reached out to me personally. It wasn't a staff member. It wasn't somebody else. He said, you know, would you be interested in helping us do this? What do you want to do? We want to have a rally to open up the businesses in Staten Island and New York City. I'm all in. And see, a man would do that. Thank you. Wouldn't pawn it off to a surrogate. So I'm glad to be here tonight. Let me ask you, I don't know who I'm talking to, so how many people in the audience own a business? Okay, great. How many of you continue to work even though you don't own a business? Okay, great. Who wants to go back to work? You know, as this time has gone on, I've done a little more than a little bit of research. And I've seen what's going on in New York City and New York State. And I'm watching what's going on in other countries. And I'm looking at the draconian shutdowns that we've experienced. In New York particularly, because this is where we live and this is what we have to deal with. And I'm looking at other places in the country and in the world. And I'm looking at things that just completely do not add up. I'm looking at Hong Kong, that's on the border of mainland China, that had 2.7 million people come in the month of January. 4 people died as a result of this disease. 4 people died. What we're dealing with here and what we're living through is the most gross mismanagement of any epidemic that's ever been seen in the United States. And it's at the hands of Mario Cuomo. I'd be remiss to say, if at this point in time, has anybody heard from Max Rose? No. Isn't he our congressman?
Yes.
Where is he? Let me tell you why he's not here, because he's not like you.
He's a hack.
He's not like us.
Come on. We gotta vote them
He
out.
doesn't care.
We gotta change it.
He's the one that wants to give Planned Parenthood $80 million and make them essential workers.
Down the Clippers. Boo.
You know, I don't do imitations. I don't do imitations, but I do a great Nancy Pelosi. You want to hear my Nancy Pelosi? Anybody want to hear my Nancy Pelosi?
Do it.
Here, Max. Come on, Max. Here, Max. Come on, Max.
Pelosi's
He's a puppy.
He's a puppet.
He's Nancy's puppy.
Time's
And
finished.
that's who we got representing us right now.
He wanted to impeach Trump. What?
He's the one that should be out here. He's the one that should be dedicating his time to putting us back to work. You know, I see a lot of friends in the audience, and I want to thank you for showing up today. A lot of my social media friends and a lot of my business friends and some people, my peers that I have a great deal of respect for, that took time out of their day, like you, to come here today. And the one thing that we all have in common is we're all acutely aware of how badly we are being treated. You know, we're not the criminals.
There you
But
go.
yet for me to go out to work, and for you to go out to work and try to feed your family, you will become a criminal. They're letting people out of jail, but they'll fine you or lock you up.
Lock up the criminals, not the Americans.
Not my country.
Hypocrisy.
Enough with the mind games. We know what the fuck is going on. Using quarantine as an excuse.
They gotta find a solution, not just the
So-
solution is open up.
What do we do?
Go
I'm
back
looking
to
at
work.
the governor, who brings out a 12-point plan about what we have to do to open up.
Free the criminals, lock
So
up
I'm
the
reading this
Americans.
12-point
How do you
plan.
like that?
And I'm sure there's some things in this 12-point plan that you don't know. And the interesting thing about
I don't
this
need it. My mouth
12-point
is-
plan is that other countries didn't have this. Other states didn't have this. They're open. Their restaurants are open. Their gyms are open. Their
They're
real
red
estate
states.
brokers are
The
selling
red
real
states
estate,
are open.
and listing real estate.
The
The
red
construction
states are open.
companies are building. Their home builders are building. Their home improvement contractors are going to work every day. They don't need a 12-point plan. But here in New York, because of El Duce and that Mama Luke we got in Manhattan,
DeBozo! DeBozo!
there's nothing I hate worse than a fake. And when I got a fake Italian, that's a twofer. Will help. Now you know why he's a Mama Luke. Anyway, lest I digress. It's important that you know about this 12-point plan. And I do not believe that these 12 points are about putting you back to work, about putting me back to work. I specifically and exactly believe that these 12 points are about keeping us from going back to work. Further squeezing us. There are many people in this audience right now, including myself, that don't know if my company is going to be here in 2 or 3 or 4 months. Best case scenario, those of us that survive are going to get taxed out of existence as a result of the hole that this mayor has dug in the city of New York.
Homo too!
$12 billion. Where's that money going to come from?
You and
The
me!
companies that are left alive are going to be taxed out of existence.
No, they get it for free! The working man's the sucker!
So these 12 points that our governor, and anyway, I cringe every time I say that, but these 12 points that our governor spent millions of dollars on research to put together. Do you all know what they say? Let me tell you what some of them say. And some of them actually make sense. And then he goes off the rails. Phase 1, some people go back to work, right? You know who's in phase 2? Anybody? So phase 1, after that's done, and we again hit his markers in his 12 points, then he's going to open up phase 2. Phase 2 is the retails, the professional services, and real estate. Could be months later for phase 3. You know what phase 3 is? Restaurants. Phase 3, restaurants.
Nonsense.
That could be months from now.
You need to be arrested for treason. Hungry.
Who's going to be able to keep their doors closed and reopen for another series of months? Now, I'll tell you how you know it's going to be months. He already sent the message out if you will listen carefully. Because the young kids are getting sick now, and they say it's as a result of being exposed to this virus. But a handful of kids get sick. And you know what he said the other day? But we only know about these children. We won't know how many there are until we increase the testing. And the bells went off. Now he's going to start another round of testing for something else. Do you know that with the last flu in 2017, 2018, 127 children died? Don't believe me, go look it up. 127 children died throughout the United States. Anybody know how many children died of COVID?
3.
Less than 2 dozen. Don't have an exact number. They're calling it a handful. More than a dozen. I'm saying less than 2. Now, there's something very interesting that you need to know about this. Now, I'm not telling up any secrets if I tell you that this is that we know what this is about. Does anybody still think that this is about the virus, by the way? No! All right, good. At least we can start somewhere.
It's a propagandemic!
Chinese virus!
Let me know when you want my turn.
Treason! Treason! Roll up the muskets! Steve for press! Steve for press!
So we have a governor that wants to keep us shut down. And the Mama Luke in Manhattan, he don't know what to do. But I'll tell you how bright, how intelligent he is. That most healthy thing in the world is fresh air, sunshine, and salt water. And he shuts up the beaches. He says, no, if you don't observe your social distancing on the beach, we're gonna shut the beaches down.
Don't forget that, Chris!
It'll pull you out of the water!
Healthiest place in the world that you can be. You're more susceptible to catch this virus and have it generate in your home when you're home than when you're out working. Story for another day.
Sick people in quarantine.
Anyway,
Healthy people free.
so what they're looking to do, and again, I'm preaching to the choir, but we all know this to be true. They're driving up the unemployment rate. Why? Because the only way they can win that election is to take Trump's economy away from them. We know this. This is no news here.
Bingo!
But here's what you don't know. And here's the part. Beyond Cuomo killing the people in the nursing homes, okay, beyond the murder of our elderly,
He did it.
what most offends me, and a friend of mine gave me this statistic today, and I didn't believe him, so I had to look it up.
Yeah, it's going away.
There are a lot of things that are occurring as a result of our not being able to go back to work.
I'm in front of the podium.
Our not being able to open our businesses. And I read today that for every 1 point of unemployment nationally, there are 37,000 unnecessary deaths. Do the math. 30s. Look it up. Don't believe me. It was a study done by several universities back in the 90s. 37,000 per point. Suicides, alcoholism, gun violence, a whole host of reasons why. And that's what's happening as a result of our companies and this city being shut down. Staten Island is not like the rest of New York City. If you haven't figured that out by now, go home. We're different. Not yellow bus different, just different. And we need to be treated differently. But they got this one-size-fits-all approach for New York City, and we're stuck inside of it. We're stuck inside that box that Mario Cuomo says we have to be in. So I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with you. I want to thank Joe and his staff for putting on a great event. I will go anywhere to talk about this. We have to get this city open. You want to go back to work? Yeah. You want to go back to work? You want to go back to work? Yeah. Open up your doors. The only way we're going to force change is to put their backs to the wall. Do not back down. Open your doors and stand up. Get your cameras out and take pictures of them when they come to you. Do not back down. Open up! Open up! Open up today and stay open.
We got the answer for something, guys. We got the answer for a do-nothing politician like Max Rose. His name is Joseph Caldarera. Yeah! Thank you, Steve. The next speaker we're going to have is, she's a real freedom fighter. And she's got quite a bit to say. And we have quite a bit to hear right now. So without further ado, Christine Salica, will you please come up?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. We're all here for the same reason, freedom, right? I'm a makeup artist and I'm out of work and I'm going to be out of work for a while. Thanks to the governor. I have been fighting. I've been going back and forth to Albany for 2 years, fighting for our freedom. I'm one of the pioneers in Staten Island that have been going back and forth. I don't want to get into why, but it had to do with our freedom, and the people in my group saw this coming. We saw them chipping away at our freedom. The buffoons that are in Albany making legislation is appalling. I would come home, I would have anxiety, I was upset that these people who seem very uneducated are making laws for us. The government is trying to stand in between the parent and the child, and I am Mama Bear, and they poked the wrong bear. All the other states that opened seem to be red. So do you guys think this is political? No. Do you think our Bill of Rights is essential? Yeah. Do you think we need to go back to work? Yeah. Guess what, guys? The governor and the mayor, they're receiving their paychecks. They're all getting paid. We aren't. They're putting food on their table. We aren't.
Time for a revolution.
Time for a revolution, and here we are. We're standing up. We're standing up for freedom. I stand for freedom. I won't allow the government to chip away at the Constitution, to chip away at my rights, to stand between me and my child. I am his mother. I say what goes. I know I'm getting off topic a little bit.
I don't believe in vaccines either.
Today I saw a photo in the New York Post. People, our fellow New Yorkers, are standing on food lines. I can't believe that we're dealing with this. I can't believe that this is us, that this is what we become. Not everybody can receive unemployment. The people that are standing on the food lines they can't get their unemployment. I saw a statement, and I'm going to say it to you guys. The definition of stupid is knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing the lies. The media, the mainstream media is feeding you and me the propaganda. They're putting fear into people. People don't want to leave their homes. I say enough. I need to go back to work. Learn from the sheep. That's right. The sheep. That's right. Do you guys see my sign? Say no to HR 6666. 666, the number of the beast. Say no to contact tracing. They want to contact trace you. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. We need somebody like Joe Caldarera representing us because he'll vote no to this, but guess who's going to vote yes to this? Max Rose. Only we can put a stop to it. You have to vote the right way, guys. 2 years ago, when the blue wave came into New York, we knew our rights were going to be taken from us. And unfortunately, it happens. And I have friends in here, in this audience right now, that know exactly what I'm talking about. We pioneered this. We saw it coming. I won't go down without a fight, and I hope you guys don't either. Please remember this at the polls in November. Thank you for listening. Freedom! Woo! USA! 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 Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe Caldarera. Marco Kepi, he's running for assembly for New York. I don't know what the district is, but it's on the south. It's Oakwood, 64th district, if you guys are in that district. He will fight for you on the state level. And Joe Cal will fight for you on the federal level. Come out June 23rd, primaries. Get Joe on the ballot. Thank you.
The pizzeria right here in the neighborhood. Lenny Giordano is the owner of Mona Lisa Pizzeria. Uncle Lenny, you want to come speak, pal?
Thank you, everybody, to be here tonight. I really I'm doing this thing started. I don't want to say nothing, but now it's almost like he's getting my nerve. Sometimes I get too emotional because sometimes I don't want to say nothing because I'm so upset because I see what's going on. A lot of you, thank you for supporting my business. And the way I've been seeing lately, the last few months, the way we had to restructure the whole business, we had to do pick-up window. Then we got to do the sign to do the curbside to bring the food to the car. And I see people crying, and I hear a story every day when people tell me some people losing their house, some people lost their job. They don't even get a job, even when the thing is open, because the company probably not going to be able to open. So when you got down to the point, I think the one thing that we forget the most, it's a one nation under God, but we forget that God, they take a God out of the totally place. So they took our faith, our freedom. So basically, they don't even want to open the church. So it's okay to go to the park, but it's not okay to go to the church. It's not okay to open a restaurant. I'm turning around in here, and I see every store is open. And I wonder, those people, or the business owner, and not mention all the other businesses, how they're going to pay the rent. They say, okay, Mr. Cuomo, they say, okay, you can pay for the 3 months, they're not going to evict you. But guess what, at the end of 3 months, then you're going to end up paying 4 months. Because who's going to give you the money?
Nobody.
So, you know what, I think it's like the best way is like really to open your eyes when you go vote. Literally, open your eyes. Because you know what, they think we're full. And we're not, and we're not. And especially in this area, is all mom and papa store. Like you bringing food to us, we bringing food to you. It's like it's basically it's like a big family. We have to stick together. And I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for everyone to be here.
Yes.
And whatever I can do, I'm here to help everybody. And thank you again. I love you. God bless. God bless America.
Very much, Lenny. Guys, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank High Energy Entertainment today for coming out and doing this for free. Right? For free. Put a little bonus noise.
Right?
Joe, would you like to cap this off, pal? Here's Channel 1, SCW, there's Cuomo. Thank you, Joe.
I'd like to thank High Energy Productions for DJing here tonight. Matt Zocco, give it up. Thanks for supporting the community, Matt. You know, at one time from now, 40 years from now, I hope one day that when my grandkids say to me, hey Grandpa, what did you do during COVID-19 in 2020? And I'm able to look them in the eyes and say to them, well, I didn't stand behind our government, I stood behind my people. I'm here for you. Stay in touch. I'm not an elected official yet, but I've got your backs. Whatever we need to do, small business here on Staten Island, reach out to me. We'll be coordinating together over these next few weeks. We will get reopened soon. Thank you.
Make her talk.
We want to open tomorrow. We want to open tomorrow.
Now?
That's right. That's right. And our elected officials haven't given us any answers. They haven't given us any answers, and we have to come together as a community. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless America.